I'm not going to be able to fit all the generators in there. Oh, by the way, you notice how I can place a lot of generators here without having to constantly select the generator button. I should have forgot to mention, if you hold down Shift while placing objects, it'll allow you to place multiple copies of that object, as long as it's an object that multiple copies can be placed of. For example, you can't do it of the lab equipment because you can only have one piece of lab equipment down at a time. Oops. There we go. So if you want to place a lot of things like barracks, barracks pieces, bunk beds, and lockers specifically, and you want to place a lot of them down at once, you just hold Shift and you can place as many as you want. Nice little useful hint there. So we're going to build these. Now the reason I'm doing it with the capacitors at the back and the generators at the front is, well, I don't expect agents to get down to the base, and either way, I found that agents can only place bombs in certain rooms. I mentioned this on the video of Evil Genie's tips and tricks. That one I'm not going to be removing when I remove all the other ones. I found that agents can only place bombs in certain rooms. I've never seen them place bombs in other rooms. I've seen them place bombs in the armory, in the control room, in the power plant, in the laboratory, in the training room, and possibly in the infirmary, but I don't think I don't think so. Like, for instance, I've never seen an agent place a bomb in the corridor, or in the inner sanctum, or in the staff room, or in the lunchroom, just as an example. So I found there's as long as you keep no empty spaces in your power plant, you can stuff it full of as many things as you can. Even if your generators are on the outside, agents can't attack them. Well, they might attack them, but they won't place bombs. And of course, allows them to be accessed by techies and repaired if they need to. Now, if you notice, I didn't build the generator alley as shown in the thing, but I might end up building one once I get my nuke plant available. Building using one-room corridors to build a really interesting nuke idea that I saw on that website there. That had several capacitors, and since it was made of corridor, he actually had put fire extinguishers right there, so in case of emergency for whatever reason that they did blow up, the valets would have fire extinguishers right there. And just like the briefcase racks, fire extinguisher racks are ooh, I'm out of money. Fire extinguishers are indestructible. So let me just hit pause here. Can I still access this? Yes. Okay. So now you can't actually see the amounts, but let me just zoom in on one here. Now if you look here, there's a small divide here that has two control panels. So what that means is you need at least 2 control panels to break the information threshold and be able to access that area's information. So if you look here, you got money, question mark, face, question mark. Now what that means is the money is how much money you can siphon off it. It's its income rating, rated from 1 to 9, and the more people you have in there, the more money you can siphon off, but there's a maximum. But the higher the number, like if you put in a 1 in there, any construction worker in there would steal $100 every 60 seconds. So that's every construction worker. So 5 would steal 500, 10 would steal 1,000. But if you have a level 9 one, you might steal, for instance, 400 or 500 per construction worker. So 5 construction workers would steal 2,500, and 10 would steal 5,000. See how the money increases? So what you do is you want to send about 20 or 30 to here, to here to, I think it's here and here. And what that will do is it'll maximize your profits. Then what you do is just leave it for 8 hours. Go to a shift at work, or go to bed for the night. And when you come back to the game in the morning or after your shift, you should have $8 to $10 million more. Now, I don't want to have to sit there and wait that long, and I know you want to get to the through the walkthrough, so I'm going to use the Humanzee cheat. So I'm going to activate that now. Humanzee, Humanzee. Now it says task complete. That was to show that the cheat is now active. Now there's several different things you can do with the cheat, and they all have to do with you pushing control something. So now I'm using the cheats here simply for simplicity and time. Otherwise, I don't use the cheats, and I don't recommend that you use the cheats either if you want to beat the game legit. I gave you a perfectly legit way to earn money by simply going out and stealing it while agents can't come to your island. So Control C automatically gives you 100,000 gold. So as you can see, I'm trapping Max. Run, Max, run. Automatically give you $100,000, and you can use it repeatedly. Another one, Control A, gives you what's called the Army of Darkness. It gives you one of every henchman and minion in the game. Once again, you can use this repeatedly to have an unstoppable henchman army. Now, once again, this really eats up your population, because it does add to your population. And say if you did it 50 times. You would have 50 of every minion, plus whatever con workers you had on your island to begin with. Now, when you go to move to the second island, if you have too many people, if your population is too high, not everyone and not everything is going to end up being transferred properly to the second island. And then you got a problem, because then you might lose some of your important loot. Now, another one is Control O, I think it is. Gives you access to every buildable object in the game, and even some that actually aren't normally buildable, such as the cabinet or the soothing atrium in the inner sanctum. And it also gives you access to all rooms, including ones that you haven't been able to build yet. Control T gets you all traps in the game. Once again, this does include some that aren't normally buildable in game. Control N and Control M. Now I'm not sure which one does which, but Control N and Control M can actually turn on and off global chaos. Global chaos will actually happen normally throughout the story mode of the game, but it won't happen until late in the second island. What it does is it causes the alliances of justice, Patriot, Smash, Saber, Hammer, and Anvil, to argue. And whenever an agent sees an agent on the island from a different global alliance, they will attack each other. So Smash agents will attack Patriot agents, which can be really fun to watch. To have a bunch of agents on your island just screwing with each other. So that will naturally happen throughout the course of the game. You'll start putting your own diplomats in different key governments, and it'll cause the global chaos where agents will attack each other. So using N and M with Control will toggle it on and off, but I can't remember which button does which. Another one, Control S, I find can be extremely useful, but once again I recommend not using it. It causes an explosion at any point where your mouse is clicking. This will hurt your guys and catch all your stuff on fire and destroy all your stuff. But I found that if an agent is escaping your base and you just happen to have the cheat active, blow them up. Once again, I recommend not using the cheat though, if you want to beat the game legit without the cheats. So the only thing I'm going to be using the cheat for is simply just giving me a small base of money to use. Like I said, I'm just going to put myself up to 8 million. That shouldn't be enough to get me through the through the first island, and still give me a couple million left over to start the second island. After that, once I got my Uber trap built up, that should provide me with funds for the rest of the mission, for the rest of the island. That's when I get to the second island, of course. So, right now I'm just waiting for the power plants to be built. What I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm going to turn it off. Now, if you go to your time clock, how it works is the higher it is, the more people will wait to change shifts in the room. Now, if you turn it to the red zone, it shuts that room off. Now, nothing in the control room will work aside from the door, but if you notice, it reduced the power. It completely reduced the power of all objects in the room, restoring power to my base. So if you're in a low power crisis and you need to, and you don't want your power generators to explode, and you don't have the nuke plants, because nuke plants wear down a lot slower than normal ones. Not to mention that you provide so much energy, chances are you're not going to run out. But once you just got the normal generators or disguise generators, because they pump out the exact same amount of power, and you're in a power crisis, shut down your control room, shut down your lunchroom. Anything that has a time clock that's not necessary, shut it down until you have enough power. Okay, now that we do have enough power, let's go ahead and turn this back on. So can I build anything else right now? No, I can't. I build at least one of everything. So the next thing we're going to want to do is continue building this here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build another one-tile corridor. This one is going to be designed in order to push agents over here into the distraction corridor that I'm going to make. It's going to be starting here, exactly 8 this way. And essentially when they try to enter the main base, which I'm going to have like come up this way, they're going to end up running into the they're going to end up running into the I'm bumbling over my own words. Sorry about that. They end up running into the trap and getting blown into the corridor. I'm going to use wind tunnel traps. See, personally, I'm not a fan of traps, because once again, you want to make sure your agents leave the island without heat. But I do like the wind tunnel traps because they don't generate heat as long as you don't make them smash into a wall with it.